Now to use our newly created function to save user, what we are going to do is every time our user is logging in, we are going to access our Firestore user area and see if that specific user exists there. And if he doesn't exist, we are going to create a user and save it there. And if it does exist, we are going to get it downloaded and save it locally using our save locally function. So let's write this function. I'm going to put mark download user, and this is going to be a func download user from Firestore, and we're going to give it a user ID that we want to download, which is a string, and the email is also a string. Okay, so in this function we are going to access our Firebase reference user. Then we want to get hold of the document that has the user ID, and we want to grab this document and get it. So say get document, and one with a completion handler. So we have our get document with completion, and we have our document snapshot, which is a snapshot, and then we have an error variable. So first thing, we are going to check if there is a snapshot. So say card let snapshot is equals to snapshot, else we are going to return. And if we have a snapshot, we will check if it exists. So say if snapshot exists, and then we have else. So if snapshot exists, it means that we have a user. So I'm going to print here download current user from Firestore. And then we are going to call our save user locally, and we are going to pass as muser dictionary a snapshot dot data, which is a string any, and I just have to specify that this is as ns dictionary. So if we have a user, we are going to save it locally. If we don't have user, I'm putting that there is no user, and we're going to save one on Firestore. Save new in Firestore. So in order to save a user, we are going to create an muser object with our user ID and email that we already have passed here. So we'll say let user is equals to muser, and we're going to initialize one with an object ID, which is going to be our user ID. Email is going to be our email, and then we have our first name. I'm going to pass empty string, and last name I'm going to pass empty string here. So having this muser created with only object ID and email, we want to save this muser object inside our dictionary, our local user default. So I'm going to say save user locally, and then we can say user dictionary from muser, and we can pass our user here, so that we just convert whatever we created and save it locally in user defaults. And also we want to save this user to Firestore. Where is it? Save user to Firestore, and we're going to pass the user object here. not the user ID. So this function, every time we will log in, we are going to call it, and it's going to take care of the saving our user function. So let's go up, and in our where are we, in our login user with email, where we have left our mark here to download user from Firestore, I'm going to get rid of this and put my code download user from Firestore, and we're going to pass an email and user ID here, and the user ID we're going to get from our auth data result.user.uid, which is string, and the email, we already have access to our email in this function, so we can just pass it here.